This villain is a next level hater. Welcome to the Mirror Room Funhouse, a place I have built within the theme park, which is my mind, to be reserved for some of the most notorious characters in anime and fiction to ever grace our presence on the screen. And today, I am inducting a villain so conniving that we literally have to go back in time to understand his motives. And it's none other than Death Phantom of the Sailor Moon universe. No, not you, Death. You're gonna have to set this one out, my nigga, because whether he's Death Phantom or Doom Phantom from the 90s show, he is the literal incarnation of Black Air Force energy. To explain why, I'm gonna need the 90s series of Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Crystal to tell you the story of this absolute menace. Death Phantom is a villain storyline that happens canonically right after the defeat of Queen Beryl and Queen Metalia in an arc known as the Black Moon arc, which is my favorite storyline in the entire franchise. Listen, in the 90s show, it was called the Nega Moon arc, but for me, I personally like to call it the Nega Moon arc, baby, because the villains here all have Black Air Force energy, which is defined as, and this is my definition right here, Black Air Force energy, a person or an object that has insane potential and that is crazy to deal with, having no fear or hesitation of action regardless of moral alignment, be it towards their own competitors or teammates. The story opens up with Usagi and Mamoru Chiba on a date getting ready to share a kiss in the park when this little kid drops in from the sky and steals Usagi's kiss from Mamoru. This kid is named Chibi-Usa, who is actually Usagi and Mamoru's child from the future. Our first introduction to this brat is that she pulls a Glock out on her future mom. Apparently she's about that life. Later, she casts a spell on Usagi's family to have them believe that she's their little cousin, which we'll call Rini. And it drives Usagi insanely angry, though Mamoru is a little more understanding because they don't know yet that this is their future daughter. Yo, could you imagine if my son from the future showed up and put a piece in my face? I'm beating his ass on every random Thursday after he turns 4. What's that for? What's that for? What's that for? What's that for? Exactly. As the plot thickens, we learn that Chibi-Usa came from the future to the present timeline to find the Sailor Scouts and the Silver Crystal in order to save her mom, Neo Queen Serenity, and the rest of the Sailor Scouts and her father, King Endymion, who are all in a coma-like state due to an attack from those who hail from the Black Moon. Cinema! These invaders took over Crystal Tokyo in the future, which forced most of the people on Earth into a death-like coma due to the power and presence of the malefic Black Crystal. The Silver Crystal disappeared in their time, and so Chibi-Usa came to the past for aid, and the Black Moon clan followed after her to nab the little rabbit and her Silver Crystal too. Now, let me introduce you to the Ops! This dude in the cloak is known as Wise Man, and with him are his associates with the Black Moon clan, who are known for their inverted black crescent moons on their foreheads. Cinema! The first villain we're introduced to is called Crimson Rubius, who is just dripping with hood energy. Oh my god. Yo, listen. He got on the black combat boots, the ROTC pants, a wife beater, and the Hisoka hairstyle. And his subordinates are these 4 baddies right here who are sisters that just drip with Black Air Force on some Gucci shit. I see you, my nigga. These chicks are known as the Spectre Sisters, and they go after Chibi-Usa first, but although they were defeated one by one, they managed to capture a Sailor Scout with them each time, leaving only Sailor Moon and Rubius to duke it out. After Rubius' defeat, they later learn of Chibi-Usa's objective, and with the help of the Sailor Scouts with Mamoru as Tuxedo Mask, they go through the Time Gate, guarded by Sailor Pluto, to arrive in the future. Once there, they witness all this planetary devastation to the Earth, and arrive at the Crystal Palace and meet with the King's astral projection and a cat named Diana, who is the future daughter of Luna and Artemis. That's when the king revealed the truth about what happened to Crystal Tokyo in the 30th century by the hands of the Black Moon Clan. Years ago, Neo Queen Serenity and King Endymion was ruling the earth, and the world experienced longevity and prosperity because of the power of the silver crystal, granting everyone like 1,000 years of life. Yo, damn, pour me a cup, shit. However, there was one man, a criminal, who hated all this peace and merely desired war. This man, his name was Death Family, and he waged war with Neo Queen Serenity but lost. As punishment, instead of death, he was banished and sent to a barren planet many light years away from Earth called Nemesis, which they knew very little about. Years later, the people who hail from the Black Moon appeared with their black malefic crystal, and once the black crystal landed on the Earth, people got put into a coma, and the world was filled with devastation. Now, the people of the Black Moon Clan came from the hardships on Earth, and they all hated the people of the White Moon. So to simplify, they're from the ghetto opposite from the light of the White Moon Kingdom. Yo, that's why I call this arc the Nigga Moon arc. These people hail from the dark side of the moon. We ain't got no sunlight where we from. Ain't nobody feeding us. Gangsta. This invasion on Earth was led by Prince Damon, who is the ruler of planet Nemesis, who has a younger brother named Zephyr. Their main generals are Rubius, who led the Spectre Sisters, and a woman named Esmeralda, who led the Boule brothers. And of course, they got these foot soldiers called droids. So they're not here to form a treaty or parlay. They're here to simply just run the fate. As Prince Damon fought Neo Queen Serenity, he literally fell in love with her beauty, but she was placed into a coma due to the power of the malefic black crystal, thus causing the Sailor Scouts to fall into a coma as well with their queen and king, as well as Luna and Artemis. Damn. Wait, they ain't dead. They just in a death-like coma. Now, in the present future, with the remnants of the Black Moon Clan, our heroes ended up fighting Esmeralda, who is on some Cardi B type of drip, with the green hair, the black heels, and the little black Gucci dress. Yo, listen, I'm gonna need some water. Woo! But as the battle waged on, Chibi-Usa ended up in the hands of Wise Man, who saw potential in the young lady to be a soldier for the Black Moon soon after Esmeralda's demise. The 90s show didn't tell me this. I learned from the Crystal series that Chibi-Usa is over 900 years old. I literally sat there in silence for like 12 minutes. Wise Man managed to coerce Chibi-Usa by making her believe that she was unloved by her mother and father and was a burden to the scouts of her time and the people of Earth. She was not very tall and was teased growing up that she could never be like the queen. However, she gained a nickname in the positive sense, which was Small Lady, which now actually makes more sense now that I know that she's over 900 years old. The scouts were rescued on board Rubius' ship, and that's when Wise Man gave Chibi-Usa the power of the Black Crystal to become Black Lady, aka Wicked Lady from the 90s. Now, Black Lady is dripping with black Air Force with the black and red dress and heels. Yo, what is with these goth baddies? Oh my god! Yo, to describe this chick, she's basically what Megan Thee Stallion raps about in all her songs. I challenge you. Now look at me closer. I challenge you. Take any verse from any of her songs, and it's like she's talking about Black Lady. Exhibit A. When I started getting money, I'ma tell you the truth. All the hoes I was hitting got they ass cut loose. Bitch knew a little business. Want to put it in the news? They'll take it to the net, but I'ma take it to the booth. Give a bitch an inch, she'll take it to the moon. Woo! What I say? Hoes love to stir the pot, and I'ma get a bitch a spoon. Bitch, I'm the one. You ain't even the two. You would never be you if I wasn't your muse. And if you still don't believe me, here's Exhibit B. And when Rubius, who survived the attack from the scouts in the present timeline, questioned Wise Man's motives with Black Lady, Wise Man snuffed him out before Prince Damon knew what happened. thanks to the Amp by Black Lady. Black Lady. Ooh. So Black Lady is teaming up with Wise Man to take on the Scouts, and Saphir ends up dying at the hands of Wise Man after Saphir realized that Wise Man had lied to everyone and his brother. Now, it's war as the future faces destruction. Our heroes fight against Wise Man and Black Lady, and to my shock, they hit Wise Man and he falls flat to the ground. And I'm like, what the f***? They investigate and learn that it was a corpse. Then you see this giant shit in the sky, like this giant skull with the black moon symbol on its forehead. And it is then revealed that Wise Man was the criminal Death Phantom, and that he was puppeteering his corpse while on planet Nemesis, which he was banished to. Y'all, when Death Phantom arrived to Nemesis, the planet was oozing with black malefic energy, hence the crystal. Black Air Force energy! So over the years, his soul merged with the planet at its core, and he found a bunch of poor people on Earth and gave them the power of Nemesis, hence the birth of the Black Moon Clan. All while puppeteering his own corpse on some Sasori shit. I'm now realizing that this is almost like the KKK, because the Black Crescent Moon might as well be a Black Hood. I'll stop. Eventually, Chibi-Usa returns to normal, realizing that she had true love around her the entire time upon seeing the death of her first real friend, Sailor Pluto. As our heroes fight Death Phantom, Prince Damon dies for protecting Sailor Moon. They soon realize that what was in the sky was an illusion, and that planet Nemesis itself and Death Phantom are now one and the same. So Chibi-Usa, who is now a sailor soldier known as Sailor Chibi-Moon, alongside Sailor Moon, literally fight a planet that is dripping with Black Air Force energy, and Death Phantom is defeated and the future is saved with the reawakening of the Neo Queen, the Future Scouts, and King Endymion, whose soul returns to his body. I still can't believe that in 7 years this is going to be the future queen of the Earth. And our first induction to her was like her getting like a 30 on her math test. For causing war for the love of the game, for becoming the very incarnation of black malefic energy and a planet, for puppeteering his own corpse so he could create his own soldiers, for putting the people on Earth in suspended animation as revenge for his banishment, and for enslaving the Princess of Earth using the malefic black crystal. I am proud to induct Death Phantom into the Mirror Room Funhouse as the literal physical incarnation of Black Air Force energy. So who's next? Perhaps this next video will give you some ideas, and remember, hatred can run deep if it isn't cured with love. You just didn't give a f***.